Rising. We got a big day today, huge day. Actually, I don't know how big it's really going to be. I have some suspicions that today will actually be kind of a tight range day, since we have a big data release tomorrow, and we had a big move yesterday. I figure a lot of people will be seeking continuation or some sort of reversal, but no, that's the case today. Alright, let's go ahead and get rid of that. Just get rid of all that. Start a little fresh here. Let's go ahead and look at everything here. Let's update our overnight levels. Overnight low will be down here at 5730.5. Overnight high at right before London session, 5773. Okay, we got some big levels below us. Previous week value area high, previous quarter low, and of course this gap fill. And looks like we're gunning towards it right at the moment as we speak. Okay, let's get rid of these for now. Update this weekly range we've got. We've got Thursday right here. So Thursday right there. As you can see, obviously we're trading at the lower end of the range. I'm sure that this 5780 area will come into play as the anchor VWAP will start to get pulled down. We've got the value area low of the week and the 50% equilibrium level of the weekly range. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see at the moment if we get a long opportunity out of filling the gap. That's the weekly range right now. We'll put this on, see if we have any pivots though, any naked pivots. We do have a naked pivot down there, and a naked pivot above us is at 5780 level. So right now I'm feeling move down to fill the gap, move up, and then come back into range and kind of range trade all day. That's what my first prognosis would be. What's up, Six Felony? Grand Rising, kind sir. We're gonna have a big day. Let's lock in. Let's lock in, babe. Let's lock in. But anyway, so we got pivots above us, weekly pivot, and we have a naked weekly pivot below us. So that's something to keep in mind here. And then let's check out the monthly VWAP, because I know that's something of interest on NQ. So it's another, the monthly VWAP is also down here. So yeah, it's looking like so far. So overnight we did take yesterday's low and we came up roughly 30 points. We have, if we look at the volume profiles, we have some untapped value. Or sorry, we have a naked point of control right here at 5,700. And yeah, it's looking like that this fill, whatever fill we get right here, is going to play a pretty big role today. I think it's going to be fill the gap and range trade. Probably all day on this asset. So let's go ahead. We got the previous month levels. Also remembering that the previous week value area high, we have come back into the previous week range, but we really haven't gotten into the range unless we get acceptance back below this 5720 level, in which we could start to look for 5670 and then ultimately go down and take these lows probably. So that's ES at the moment. So really right now looking for, upon open in the next 30 minutes or so, looking for a move down into these levels, in which we come back up into the midpoint of the range, see how it trades, and then trade up to take the top side of the range. And then I would assume probably a move back into the middle of the range and then kind of just trade like that all day. So gonna keep that in mind because we have a big data point release tomorrow with PCE. Today we had one at 8:30, but not a massive one. And after coming off a massive day, trend day, and knowing that we have a big data release point on Friday, I could see people would expect probably continuation. So one way to kind of curtail that would be to create more of a ranging and consolidating environment, and then tomorrow have another big move one way or the other, depending on how we trade and close today. So RTH, yeah, so the RTH gap, we're trading in the RTH gap. So just all eyes on this, the 5720 area for ES. Seems pretty technical, and there's quite a bit of confluence there. So that's what we're looking at the moment, and we're coming down there as we speak. Also, I mean, if you're back, dude, I was just explaining everything. From this upward uptrend, anchor VWAP, we've lost it. The volume. Dude, you need it again, dude? Okay. Are you serious? But I will explain it again because there's a lot to cover here. What the fuck? Alright, we're pretty much just looking for this gap fill. We're looking for this gap fill down into the previous quarter low and previous week value area high, which lines up with filling this gap at 5720. Coming off a trendy day yesterday, expecting to probably fill this and come back into range, or take the range this high up into 5780, and then probably come back and just trade in range all day because we have a big news report tomorrow. So that's what we're looking. We're coming up on this level right now, but we'll be looking for possible long out of here, 5720, back into range up to 5750. Yeah, that's what I said, bud. That's what I said, bud. But it makes sense because we come off a big trendy day. We come off a big trendy day, and then a lot of people assume that there be continuation today. But really the big news driver for the whole week is tomorrow. And so then you kind of range it, fake people out, consolidate, blow people's accounts up, and then move it tomorrow in one way. Also looks like this is going to be a golden pocket 618 retracement as well. Yeah, there's a lot of confluence right here. I mean, gap fill, prior quarter low, previous week value area high, golden pocket, untapped value area high from last Friday. I mean, yeah. Now we don't want to set limits. They could just get blown right through, eh? But no need to even look at any of the other markets right now. Just all eyes on the big boy. All eyes on the big boy. And oh yeah, and also the monthly VWAP down here. So it's gonna be the same thing with NQ. It's actually hitting the monthly VWAP as we speak and filling the gap right now, as well as the -1 extension. So yeah, pretty much called that. No fucking way, dude. How the fuck do Ironmen do that shit then? That's hilarious. See ya, kid. Back to heckling you go, you know? Back to heckling you go. Yeah, we'll see you at the GE, bud. That's where we'll see you. Let's see, this is probably a 3-4. Yeah, 3-4-2-7 pocket right here. Let's go ahead and get to a lower time frame. All right, we're coming up pretty early here. To these levels. Let's see it get to about 57.20. Ideally is what I'd like to see here on the monkey chong. You know? No, you probably don't know actually. Why would you know? You don't know. You don't know. Yeah, I'll get on some RS and AFK after big time stream time. I gotta lock into the trades right now, bud. No AFKing for me, bud. I'm here to make monies. Well, actually, we're here to just make good trades, and everything else will flow. That's the most important thing. Alright. Still hasn't really hit our level. We did just bounce off the prior quarter low, though. So to the tick, that's pretty technical. You can see we're already starting to get some buying interest without even looking for, like order flow. You can tell just, you know, by our wicks. Nah, bud. I can't have you quitting, man. How am I gonna feel good when I log on and I don't see any friends on, you know? It'll make me feel empty inside. Oh, dude, what? Yeah, I guess it is back to the servers for you, but how'd you already blow it, man? We haven't even clicked the button yet. We haven't even pressed buy yet, or sell. Oh yeah, which is risk disclaimer, of course. Oh, I blew it yesterday. Yeah, yesterday was a rough day. Went down like 150 on the funded. Was down like 600 at one point. And, you know, obviously went down like 400 on the Eval. I hate trending days, man. Trending days are the worst because you're always looking for a reversal. And I knew it was going to be trendy pretty early on. I still kind of fucked myself trying to buy all these reversals. Caught like one good short continuation trade, and that kind of made most of it back, but nah, they're like the easiest in hindsight, but if you don't catch it from the top or whatnot, I have a hard time getting into those because unless there's a deep retracement, because I don't like taking the shallow retracements. You know, like I say this is a leg and this is the bottom of the leg. Like I usually want it to come above 50% of that leg instead of like just right up to here. You know? Alright, we're hitting the 618. We did create an order block here. So it's a little worrisome. We need to kind of come back up like that. We're gonna watch whatever 1 minute candle made the low. Look for its high to be taken out. Okay, we're coming up to this gap fill. We touched it perfectly. All right, let's start going down to a lower time frame. I don't want to miss what I missed yesterday. This is going to be inducement, I'm sure.
Order filled. Order submitted. Order submitted. Order filled.
Alright, just a quick little scalp, not much on there, but we can call that a winner. It's a little early on
Order filled. Order filled. Order filled. Order filled. Order filled. Order filled. Order filled.
No, I just took a little scalp. There's gonna be a little retracement back into this block. So I just wanted to get the first little impulsive move. I know, I have it on the other account, but I'm gonna try to buy right back into here. Look, we'll just watch, bud. Let's check this out. We'll get a retracement back into here. And then let's ride it up.
Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted. Order filled.
Fuck's sakes, bro.
Order filled.
You got a bunch of slippage on that.
Order submitted. Order submitted. Order filled.
Well, they're gonna run this up to the other side of the range, hopefully. Take a little bit of profit right here, move the stop loss up. There we go.
Order filled.
Let's go.
Order canceled. Order canceled. Order canceled. Order filled. Order canceled.
Dude, that gap fill touch to the tick. Alright, let's just ride this up. Follow the structure here. Hopefully. Don't want to get too greedy. We're up pretty big on the funded. Up 700 on the funded right here. We're pretty much at 52.6. We're up 400 on this account right now. But it's unrealized, so. Oh yeah, it's a nice 15-minute reaction here. Coming back into the middle of the range. Expect some resistance at 57.49. Probably take another one off here. About right here.
Order submitted.
So on at 49.50.
Order submitted.
We did get a closure below that low, so I mean, could be.
Order filled.
I actually just closed it out on the funded for a second. See if we get a little bit deeper retracement. I'll let this one ride because it's the eval, but I wanted to lock in the funded profits. 600 up on the funded today on that trade. Well, 450 for 150 last night from gold. Let's go, baby. And let this one continue to ride here. My thinking was, like, one reason why I wanted to at least close out one of the trades right here is we could get another pullback to test the bottom of this range at 5,730. And especially knowing that this was the low, overnight low, the first 15-minute candle did come and actually close below it. So that worries me a little bit with thinking that this could be
Order filled.
This could be just a bearish retracement for another to swipe below again. So we're going to take our profits across the board here. And let's reevaluate here in a second. All right. But pretty decent. Got back 270 on the account. Did you catch that, bud? Like, did you get a new account, or did you catch that reversal right there? That's pretty nice, huh? That's GG's. We were literally looking at this level. All right, this is a pretty good reaction on the 1 minute, flipping this old order block. Yeah, there we go. Now we're feeling a little bad that we closed out, eh? Yeah, now we're feeling a little toasty. All right, we just hit VWAP though, so maybe we can get a liquidity grab back up. That's true. That's well said, 6 Felony. You're a smart man. Yeah, I mean, really, I should just call it quits on the funded. Alright, so here we're gonna see if we get a retest at the midpoint here. But this is really playing out exactly how we diagnosed it this morning. So you love to see it.
Order submitted.
Wow. You make less mistakes if you let it ride. I don't know. Because so many times, you know, you let it hits a spot, it retraces. You could have just sold there and just played the waves. I mean, I could have managed that a lot better, yeah. I certainly could have. We might get another opportunity here because we just we just hit the 50% equilibrium of this prior range. Oh, look at NQs. Oh, gold. Look what I sold gold last night at right there, and then went up another fucking 30 points. Gee, Johnny's. Previous week high. Couldn't even take the previous week high. Are you for realsers? Oil. Oh. Oh. This one's a bit sloppy though. What about Bitcoin? Where's Bitcoin at? We're waiting for this level down here. Sweet. Oh man, dude, this sucks, dude. I mean, I don't want to. It doesn't suck. Profit is profit, but shit. This was supposed to be. This was gonna be the banger, you know. The banger tanger. All right, we got a new 4-hour candle. Oh. Wow, quite the liquidity wick right here. New 4-hour candle, 1 hour. Wow, 1 hour. Yeah, I don't see how we don't hit the other side of the range, but man, oh man, would I like to see just a little bit of retracement to retest this block around 57, 41, 42. Would be a nice maybe retracement. Retest VWAP on the other side. Yeah, give us a 57, 42, 43 retracement here. We're at the current day's point of control. I mean, we're at a spot right here where we can get a little bit of a retracement and then get a continuation trade. Oh, this is a pretty nice V-shaped recovery. Nice candle formation at the bottom with the candles. Just flipping through the time frames here. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna keep this order, but I might need to move it up to 46. Let's see what happens once 10 o'clock comes around. we could have a nice little trend line retest right here. But we are wicking above the equilibrium of this range, so this is getting a bit of support. You know, it is giving that V-shaped squeeze. But we might be getting to a point where we can short the other side of the range here. Oh yeah, look, we're about to fill the downside gap on the index. So we are coming up to some resistance here. We just filled the gap from the regular trading session. The settlement price was around 57.57. And we do need to think that, okay, this high whipped all this liquidity and made a gap down. But no, we're still strong. Long and strong. Possibly get a gold trade here. Alright, we're gonna have our EMAs as well crossing up into trending support. The 9 coming in around 57.46. We need to start thinking about how will we play. We have this order block that didn't actually get mitigated. It's resting above all this liquidity. That'd be the first target here. 15-minute supply. Alright, there's gold making a move. I think we're gonna get continuation on this one. Oh. Oh, this rolled over. It's in a rollover period. I don't know if I want to trade it then, actually.
Order submitted.
We got a 5-minute closure over this supply, which is nice. $30.51. Here comes this move down. Stalled out before taking the high made after the data release. Could this be continuation as a lower high? We'll see. I shouldn't really be setting limits here, I feel like. Trying to reclaim 50% of 50% level of the range. Alright. Let's see if we get tapped in here.
Order filled.
There's one. See where the VWAP is on this. Coming into the anchor VWAP as well for this uptrend. Where's the VWAP? Yeah, the session VWAP, full session. We just retested it. Oh, gold just got a nice little boost. A little bit lower though on that. Maybe one more wave down to test our second order entry. Could happen here. Okay, nice move. If we continue, then good thing I got one order in. Literally, no, never mind.
Order cancelled.
We can move this to above break even. At the risk-free trade now. Let's go. Ideally, 48. We're just got another 15-minute closure here. That's not too pretty. It literally just came out and filled this gap. That's about it. Or the slight imbalance here that didn't get hit at the 830. It just took the 830 high and then just filled it to the tick. And now it's getting a little bit iffy. So we do have this strong low that wicked into the flip. Came and filled this perfectly. It's still, we're still in the lower high structure as well. Just a liquidity grab. And I could see this coming all the way down again, but we're gonna just play structure. Current local trend structure is up, so it's starting to break this low here.
Order filled.
I don't like that. I think we can get a short scalp actually out of this. Yeah, I just don't like this wicks, these wicks, and then the liquidity grab. Kind of gives me this vibe. It's kind of expanding channel into the new high, but I could be, you know, just shaking in my boots. Was a decent reaction off this flip of demand. I need to check some other charts, I guess. We got the current day value area high right above us. 5763. Wow, the 1 hour candle was extremely bullish. Damn, gold did continue up. Fuck it. And there we go. Fucking A again. So I got rid of that too early. See how Bitcoin is doing. One more liquidity grab down here for me, boy. ES is starting to get a little sloppy. Gonna try to wait for the extremes. So either come back down below this low, look for another long up, or maybe wait until these highs are taken for a possible short. But we just wicked off of the value area high, came down 7 points pretty aggressively, pretty technically. Point of control sitting at 5752. See if it's a range day, we could also be getting value rotations. So the value area low is at 5737. So we could come back down into this low over here. We did get a closure above that, but not on the 15. Alright, we're just gonna check some other charts. See how the Bitcoin futures are doing, if there's any opportunities there, which we're still trading inside Monday's range. I expect Bitcoin will probably make a pretty big move tomorrow, one way or the other. But it's kind of coiled up for that. We did take yesterday's low. And yesterday's high has still been untapped. We got the EQ at 87,540. Yeah, Bitcoin's got a pivot and a former liquidity zone down at 85K. I don't really like its formation up here on the daily. It's been kind of wicky, but I think if we were to get another move down, it would be nice to take out the highs around 90K. Look for some resistance up there for another lower high, but until you get another long opportunity up into that point, that would be fun. So essentially just take Monday's low. There's a gap. All the other assets have filled their gap, so you know, if we could get a roll call here on Bitcoin, please. Can I get a roll call on Bitcoin, please? But it's looking a little bit distributive for a move down within here. But like if we look at the futures contract, let's see, previous week high, yeah, and this is the same situation kind of as ES. Came back in the previous week high, we got the previous week value area high within this gap. So yeah, I don't know if I'd take this short right here, but I would look for a possible long here. I want to see if that happens today. Otherwise, I mean, there could be, I just don't like that this hammer candle after taking all this liquidity. Doesn't seem like the smartest short, but if we come back up here, maybe. Alright, still just kind of holding on with ES. Oil, yeah, looks like it wants to continue to go up and hit the 730 level, but a bit sloppy, a bit choppy, a bit toppy, and a bit floppy at the moment. You know, I could see like maybe a little bit of an impulsive move out of this 60 level. You know, just something like that.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
Alright, we're finally gonna get our initial balance here. At the 10:30 candle. So let's see if we get some movement here soon. Got right when I was talking about we might get an impulsive move up. Didn't get our retracement. I still leave an order there, but ripperonis, pepperonis, call me Frank Macaroni. So it looks like we're gunning for this overnight high now. Let me clean this up a little bit. That on our weekly range, oh yeah, is back to our 5780 level, which is the equilibrium of this weekly range. Oh, and here we have our IB levels now. So got this initial balance high. IB low, IB low, IB high, 5743.25.
Order canceled.
Ah, man, missed out on a few continuation trades. In Q, looking like some continuation off the 2100 level, 20,100 level. More so than ES. But here we go. We're coming to the top side of the range. Alright, so if it's going to be a range day, if we get any extension up here, we want to come back into this overnight high, trade back down to like 57.50. So, I mean, a pretty good volume node from yesterday. If we look at the session volume profile around this level, and this is before we came back into the previous week range. So it looks like kind of we want to come stay in this previous week range, even though we did do the gap fill, but we had a big node right here. We didn't fully mitigate it. We left two essentially equal highs. So this 57.80 level is also the equilibrium of the weekly range. So 57.78, also the POC of this node let's see if we get a reaction out of here back into range. That's what I'm looking at. Might create some hidden divergence. All right, here we go. Coming up to this level. Time to switch to the lower time frames. Hey, Egg. Grand Rising. How was your class this morning? Bright and early. I just figured you'd want to take a nap right now. Oh, man. That fucking sucks. Oh, that's so rough. Are you done? Are you done with the day, though? Or are you past the point of no return? You know? Now you just have to be wired. Not even close. Well, let me play some slower music for you. Okay, we retested this high. I expect this first tap to get liquidated here. What class did you have this morning? It was probably one of those that puts you to sleep anyways, right? What the hell? Through surgeries and watching videos. I guess that's not that bad. It's kind of like interesting because it's actually like doing probably like what, less theory and actual implementation. I guess that'll work. For now, until I come up with a little bit of a better system. You can see we're getting resistance up here where these top wicks. Oh, you're on break. What the fuck? How long is your break? What is it, like a fucking 4-hour class? All right. Sweet dreams. I'll see you later. Much love. I love it. All right, well, you have a good one. Sweetest of dreams. Sweetest of dreamsies. We pretty much hit our upside target here. Pretty close to it. Oh my fucking goodness. Remember we were talking about gold right here? Wow. And oil right here as well. Man, a lot of pretty good opportunities today. Oh, and here comes Bitcoin back up to this level, retesting the previous week high. What's it gonna do? Oh, we have this gap. Oh, okay. Coming back down. Let's see here. This is still demand. Still retesting the previous week high. How's this looking on the 15-minute? We did get a closure above the range, but we did do that here also, and we came all the way back up, so not convinced yet on any short. How's NQ looking? Yeah, retesting the high. This swing high looks a little bit cleaner. Oh. Okay. Might be a little too hesitant on this one. I'm gonna take this. I'm just not. Not too crazy on that price action right here. And this upward accumulation. Don't really need to force it here. Maybe we take the high, see what type of reaction we get. I wanted a little bit higher, like 57.58, so 5778. All right, this is a liquidity grab. Here's this order block on the 5 second. See if we get a reaction off there, in which we'd be like, cover the high, come back down. That would be 8 contracts. Should be doing this on my Ninja Trader, but gotta show it for the stream. All right. Good, so we didn't take that. Come take the high again. That's why it's important for us to trade the reactions most of the time and not set limits, unless, I mean, it just depends, but better practice to just wait for the reactions. So the index is in this range as well. So this is the last order block that broke down into this gap. Monday's EQ level 5782. Yeah, just somewhere up here we can get a reaction. We got the equilibrium level right here. Can take these highs again. Anchored VWAP still a little bit higher. Pretty strong move though from the 4 hour. We've retraced about 1%, 57.5 points ish off the gap fill. Not bad. Okay, we did get a closure here on the 5 minute. For some possible bullish continuation. Alright, we're kind of right around the spot where I would expect a possible short back into the range if we're going to get one during this AM session. We got the hourly candle about to close here. See how the hourly closes. At the moment, this is looking pretty bullish. We did get a 15-minute closure above the initial balance high with the slight retest. No need to do anything yet. Yeah, Bitcoin is coming up to a possibly interesting level. Just have a lot of rollovers though. Something like this would be nice on Bitcoin. Nothing really on the news table for the rest of the day. I don't see any like speeches going on. Okay. So we hit the 57.80 level essentially on ES. Time to see if we get any structure shifts. And gold made new all-time highs again today. How about that? Alright, ES getting a little bit distributive up here on the low time frame. Bitcoin with a little bit of poor liquidity. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, you guys coming back into this little demand zone. See if we can move below here. We're starting to get, we're starting to get a little aggressive. Let's flip back to just ES real quick. Coming back into the overnight high. Let's see.
Order filled. Order filled.
We can come back down like 5758. If we get below this 5767 level. We got a closure. But we're still, you know, in a short-term uptrend here. Filled the imbalance, and nope, that was just demand still.
Order filled.
All right, Bitcoin probably dependent on how the we're not gonna go short on this until we get a move below here. Bitcoin's in a precarious situation here, but I got hair in my mouth. But a bit reliant on how NASDAQ here moves. We got another 15-minute candle about to close.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
Man, it's getting real ugly up in this little point of interest. Isn't it? Isn't it now? Yeah, it's kind of hard for that to be a juicy swing high formation with this bottom wick. But we'll see here. I mean, on the 1 minute, it looks a little bit distributive if we were to come back down. Yeah, it's kind of got that little Wyckoff pattern. Back to the midpoint. Like, that's what I am expecting to possibly see here. Let's go, baby. Let's get some moves here. Let's get like one more good AM session trade. Call it a day. Be nicer since. See if we can get a 2 minute closure kind of right around here. I'll take any of this retest for a continuation down here. I'm gonna put a sell stop order on Bitcoin just if it comes below 87,520. But right now I don't want to enter yet. It's got to stop here if it's going to be a short. There's no confirmation here across the board at the moment.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
Our current decision value area high is at 68.75, so right down into this wick.
Order canceled.
If we were to get a retest, and then if that were the case, I'd assume we would move up into the 5.790s above this high into this fractal. A 30-minute supply. That would be our golden pocket as well. So I could get a move up there. This is why I want to see him move below here, maybe a closure and retest of the previous week high, just to come back into value. Otherwise, I could see this just being, if we bounce out of this wick right here, this little liquidity grab, and then back all the way up to 5.790. I don't really want to take that trade. But let's say we bounced here, came back up here, retested this zone that's been getting wicked through, or wicked on quite a bit, which is a retest of the overnight high, then could possibly take a long up there with a stop below this low. So something like, if that's only if they were to just scheme in possibilities. So it could still run around almost a 3 RR. But nothing yet. See if anything happens around 11:30. If not, I'm probably gonna call it quits for the morning. Might actually get another opportunity here on oil if it doesn't take this little mini range high. Okay, actually kind of a decent reaction out of here right now with Bitcoin. It is a 30-minute order block. See if we get a closure below here, then might even enter on perps. Not this. Still just riding the EMA though on the ES. Point of control is shifted up here. So it does look like if we're building another node, if we get above it to continue up into 5790. Otherwise, it'll be a bit of a double distribution and we come back down to 57, 54-ish. It's looking like we're gonna get a little bit of movement here in the next 3 minutes. Once this 30-minute candle closes. Ah. Yeah, this just looks like a lot like distribution here to come back into the range. VWAP is at. Retesting the valley area high up today. So gotta know that we could bounce out of here, back up. So ideally we see this 2-minute closure below. There, we got the wick through there. And because we've been distributing for a while here, it could be one of the situations where you don't get a pullback.
Order submitted.
Ooh. Yeah.
Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted.
Alright, gonna look for shorts to come back down to 5754. Like to come see a retest of this previous week high. Oh wow.
Order filled.
I got tapped in on this Bitcoin trade. I just put a sell stop. Oh, I didn't get filled on this, did I? Why is it not showing up? So then ES, I don't know if we're gonna get this retracement on ES. So we're already kind of coming down to our target.
Order canceled. Order canceled.
Well, it's kind of already coming down to the target that I wanted, the VWAP 5754. Now, just monitor to see if we do get a retracement up here and see how we trade out of it, if that happens. But a retest of the previous week high again. Come back down, come down to the initial balance midpoint would be another move that I'd like to watch. And then it'd be nice to get some continuation on Bitcoin here. Pretty good reaction out of this order block. 30-minute order flow shift here. Could at least run it down a few $100s. So we'll see. My only concern with this one is we did this morning just do a little bit of a liquidity grab. And I'm not super fan of these highs, but I would like to see it move down into the previous week value area high, the gap, and then we can come up maybe tomorrow with the PCE news, come up to 90, 91K or whatever, and then maybe look for another high time frame, lower high. That's what we're looking at here. Why is my unrealized thing not showing? So we got Bitcoin's going down. We left these equal highs up here. Not a fan of that. It'd been nice to have gotten a liquidity grab, but oh wells. See how we bounce off of VWAP here, and kind of our premium discount zone from here would be back at that breaker structure. We'd have essentially a golden pocket at the previous week high. Retest, that would be decently nice. We are in profit here on the Bitcoin short right now. We're coming below VWAP now. Let's see if we can get a good move out of it on this trade. Get a good closure below this low and VWAP, that would be nice. Let's turn on the fractal, see what time frame this is a swing low on. Yeah, 2 minutes. So if I get a 2-minute closure below here, that would bode well. But right now we're just bumping around on the VWAP. My position's not showing up for the Eval on NinjaTrader over here. ES is coming up to the point of control. Not giving us our retracement yet. So unfortunately kind of missed that trade at the moment. Probably could have managed it a little bit differently, but I had already taken a small short and got stopped out, so I wanted to stick to the plan. This is looking pretty good so far. Oh wow, ES is coming down a little bit stronger now. Looks like it's gonna hit the and the Nasdaq. Looks like it's gonna go to the initial balance midpoint and just sidestep VWAP, which it's at VWAP and the point of control right now, so we will be getting another 15-minute closure here soon. Alright, so bouncing off VWAP and point of control at the moment. Pretty decent move down there. We had 5 3-minute candles in a row. Okay, Bitcoin, we did get this little 2-minute closure, albeit infinitesimal, below this prior swing. So hopefully we can get some continuation. Now, where would I like to manage my trade on here? So our current day value area low. Now let me check the actual bigger futures. Yeah, it's around 87.30. So if we come below here, probably start moving my stop down towards my entry. Yeah, still looking a little bit heavy, coming back into the range. But we were expecting this morning the liquidity sweep down here and the liquidity sweep up here, and then possible range day. So I'm not necessarily looking for a continuation back to new lows. You know, at this point, we can kind of look for a standstill here at the midpoint, which is of this range that we identified. We had the extension. Now we are bouncing off the equilibrium at the moment, which happens to coincide with the point of control and the VWAP. So if we lose this, then we'll probably retest the bottom of the range. But before that, we also have a value area low retest here at the 44.45 level. Still could be interested in a short if we retrace. So decently bearish 15-minute candle. I'm also okay with this just to continue because that will help bring Bitcoin down. So at least we got one entry. We'll see if we can get some more movement here, baby. All right, here we go on Bitcoin, coming up to the current session's value area low. Watch for some support here. But we're losing VWAP, so it's good to see. All right, little bounce there. How's ES structure looking right here? Yeah, it's still looking like grind down into this 43 level. Yep. And then here we go, about to hit the value area low on Bitcoin. So let's see how spot's looking. Yeah, spot made a really nice swing high here. That looks a lot better than the futures contract. So I was kind of basing that trade off of this spot looking clean. We needed to start getting below this 86.585 level, which happens to be the equilibrium of the range, and we've been getting support around it. And if we do lose this, I see we move down. I see us moving down to 85.4, 85, which would be the gap on the futures contract as well as the previous week value area high. So this is what I'm looking for on Bitcoin, is a move down to about 85K here. Only way I feel like that gets kind of stopped up is, like I said, we did have 2 liquidity grabs from this inducement. This really is just kind of a range. We didn't get like a nice closure below, which is a little bit ominous. And then because we've kind of assumed that today might be a range day on the indices, we might not get an explosive move here on Bitcoin to the downside. So just kind of keeping all of that in mind so that we can manage our expectations, our trades, and have a good idea on narrative and context, right? Because we also need to realize if this is our range, these highs have been left untapped, and we've already swept liquidity down here 3 times. So just from that perspective, you could think maybe we do just go like that, right? But from this upside gap, I mean, these gaps got filled on the indices, so I'd like to see the riskiest asset, its counterpart, come down and fill as well. And then with PCE tomorrow, maybe get a nice bullish move out and look for a lower high to form on a higher time frame, and then start looking for new macro lows essentially. That's my thesis at the moment. I think it's pretty solid. We got lunchtime coming up. Oof. Come on, retest this VWAP. Stay heavy on me. Stay heavy. Just want to finish the session on a high note. Just getting a decent bounce here off of the equilibrium. Bitcoin as well, getting a good bounce out of that value area low and consolidation. Okay, if it comes up here, test this supply, but don't really want to come back up above the previous week high on this. Secretly back, welcome back. Didn't get your sweet dreams snoozes in. I hate that feeling when like you have to do stuff in your class and like you kind of have to use your cognition, yet your just face and eyes and brain feel so heavy. Just waiting for some movement here. Hopefully get some continuation on this Bitcoin short. Alright, I'm gonna watch this until noon. If I still have a trade going on, I'll manage it in the background, but I'm gonna call it a stream in a few minutes and head to the gym. Do a little lunchtime gym time. Really, we only got one thing running anyways. It's this Bitcoin short, so just manage that. Alright, we need some continued downside on the indices here. Starting to create a little bit of consolidation around the midpoint of this range. We got our downside move, we got our upside move. Now let's just range it in between. Okay, spot. It's a little rough. Spot filled this imbalance fully. So if it starts to come back up, This could be a bit of a fake out, but ideally would like to see it kind of stay below this previous week high if we're going to get a move down a little bit farther. Oil coming back down to a possible long level if we left these highs unscathed. But it's lunchtime coming up. I don't think I'm gonna pull the trigger on anything right here. I'll just watch it though. Alright, we got 3 minutes until the noon timers, the noonersons. So also the ES rejected off of the gap on the futures contract from yesterday. Okay, ES is coming down. I can't wait for you to go home and just pass the fuck out. I can't wait to get off here, honestly. I want to go to the gym. I've got some pent up energy I need to release. Alright, we're getting some good movement again. Bitcoin kind of coming up and testing the supply. Let's get another lower low. Yeah, fuck that place. Tell that bitch ass assistant she can do all the work. You know? You ain't got no time for that. Unless they're gonna pay you triple, double, quadruple. Whew. I need to find a new playlist. This shit's getting sleepy on me. Yeah, it might be time for you to find a new place to work. That's what you need to do, is just like find a new job, go ahead and accept it, and then just like one time in the middle of the night when they really need you, just fucking leave. Just gotta be petty like that, you know? Gotta throw it back in their face. Alright, we got a new hourly candle on all the assets. Not super convincing. We do have a lot of volume up here, so we did retest that. I still think we have a good opportunity for the short to come down and fill the gap. So I'm gonna let that run through the afternoon and whatnot, as long as it doesn't get stopped out or if I have to manage it for some sort of reason. And then ES, same thing, but just kind of assuming some range trading. So it might just come down, test the bottom, pack up, and just consolidate. We already filled the gap. We hit our pretty big downside target for the week. So I don't think there's much to do on ES or NQ. We're just gonna watch this. But okay, it's lunch o'clock. I'm gonna call it quits on the stream. I hope you get some good rest. At some point, I might be on tonight, so if you're around, I'll see you. But have a good rest of your afternoon, my friend. Much love.